Budget 2010 brought to you by Harith Fund Managers.
South African Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan unveiled a record budget deficit but maintained spending discipline in the face of slow tax collections. In his maiden budget, former Tax Commissioner Gordhan forecast a deficit of 7.3% for 2010, sliding to 6.2% of GDP next year and then 4.1% by 2012-2013. To cushion the blow of the lingering effects of the recession, he plans to increase public borrowing from abroad, raising $7 billion in the next 3 years.
We are convinced we have a sustainable fiscal path. We, like the rest of the world, have had to respond to the crisis in a particular way. We said to you in October that we will borrow, but not borrow irresponsibly. That the kind of fiscal policies that the government has put in place over the last 5 or 6 years enabled us to exercise the option of borrowing money and not seriously constraining our expenditure programs.
The 6.2% budget deficit beat analysts' forecast of an 8% deficit for the 2009-2010 fiscal year. Economic growth for 2010 was forecast at 2.3%, accelerating to 3.2% in 2011 and increasing to 3.6% in 2012.
Yes, some analysts talked about a possibility of 8%. One of the things that baffles me in South Africa is that we release these figures on a monthly basis, but people still come with wayward forecasts. But maybe then it helps. If that is what the market has discounted 8% of GDP, go tell them the figure is 7.3% now.
In a bid to help mitigate a potential ballooning of the deficit, the government plans to spend prudently. Gordhan plans to pay down debt and continue to implement counter-cyclical measures.
However, we want to give a clear message that Cabinet as a whole, not just the Minister of Finance, Cabinet as a whole is committed to the fiscal path that you see in this document. And we understand that we need to maintain the right balance between tax revenue on the one hand, borrowing on the other hand, and spending on the third hand. And that balance is what politically the whole of Cabinet is extremely committed to.
One of the minister's main areas of focus was unemployment. But with limited resources, the minister announced just one new initiative, a plan to subsidize the wages of unskilled workers. He said reducing unemployment would be slow and will demand difficult choices. The 2010 budget saw no tax increases, but instead personal income tax relief for individuals amounting to 6.5 billion rand for low-income earners. With South Africa's budget deficit remaining relatively under control, Gordhan emphasized that the country's debt levels remained moderately low compared to many developing economies and placed it in a better position to ramp up growth.